Hey guys, welcome back to Cryptocurrency Investigation, where we have a look at various cryptocurrency projects and we ask ourselves whether or not they're going to be worth investing in or not. Today we'll be looking at Veracity. If you like what I do on this channel, please consider liking and subscribing. If you do wish to comment as well, please do not be rude in the comments. If, let's say, there's anything which I say wrong in these videos, please spread the information. Give me sources, give me links, tell me why I'm wrong or what have you. But just don't be rude, alright? That's my sort of main request. It's cool that we aren't big enough so that we have like a bunch of like spam comments yet, so it may be cool, but you know, at some point in the future that'll probably change. And one other thing to note is that this should not be considered as financial advice. It should only be used for entertainment, educational, and inspirational purposes. Now let's have a look at Veracity. First of all, another disclaimer. I have literally bought some today because flip. All I can say is flip. Like yeah. Let's look into who they are. Cool. So actually, let's have a look at some of the charts, right? So for years, they had a bunch of triple zero digits, and then boom, they had this sort of first pump. Then they dropped down again, back to the double zeros, and then they went up all the way to the single zeros, and then now they're currently chilling at just above the double zeros and the single zeros. So over the last year, this is generally when like these pumps have been occurring. So in the year 2021, very impressive. So we currently have a market cap of 130 million, and we have a rank of 372. Max in total supply. So that looks fine and all that jazz. So what is Veracity? This is fascinating. Actually, I won't read it from here. I'll read it from the actual website as well. So let's have a look at something which is a bit sort of concerning-ish, but we will actually target this soon. So we will be targeting that soon as to some of the tokenomics, which we will go into. So let's have a look at what BSC check says to us. So it doesn't seem to have anything which is greatly concerning, except for it talks about this address, which I believe belongs to the actual team itself. Which I'm not too concerned about, because having that much token supply for a team wallet I think is quite understandable. Yeah, but it could also be a pull at any time, but I don't think that they will be doing a pull on us. Whoopsie daisy. Still had the link up from the VVS Finance, sorry guys. Yeah, so if we have a look at some of these others, so at least 95% of liquidity burn / locked. Unicrypt, so 84% in Unicrypt until 11th of August, and so that it has expired. So in terms of things being locked, it doesn't really look like there's much locking, but we will look into that soon. That Unicrypt information doesn't really matter too much, so let's have a look at some of the Reddit stats as well. So we're currently sitting at about 18,000 subscribers, and we've gone all the way from about the single digits in May 2018 all the way up to 18,000 this year. So yeah, so that's quite impressive. But although that has taken a while to sort of reach that, and it has had its big spark recently, because I think that this is probably when we've actually seen more of the project come to fruition around this sort of time period, which I think can also explain some of the extra details regarding the actual price of the project. So then we have comments per day. Hasn't been much, been dead for like months. And then they've had, a bunch of comments recently, and then they had a huge amount of comments on the 5th of January. So we can have a look into maybe what might have caused that, and then post per day, also similar sort of thing. But yeah, there must have been a massive post which really talked about that. And I know that they have been doing quite a bit of advertising and things, or when I say advertising, I mean social media promotion, which I think is really good. And looking at some of these some of these posts and everything, it doesn't look like these are actually sort of any spam comments. Yeah, so as you can see, so these are some of the staking rewards as well. So you can be receiving 25.5%. And then 18.5% after the 31st of March. Yeah, and so that's what I understand from that. And yeah, so the comments are just sort of people just generally talking about the project. Now let's have a look at some of the Twitter stats. This is one of the biggest accounts I've seen. 234,000 followers is a huge amount. Yeah, I don't suspect that they are bot followers. I mean, they could be, judging by these other sort of statistics. And their Discord, yeah, I mean, their Discord is, I think they've got like 8,000 or something similar to the Reddit stats. Yeah, so in the last 30 days, we've seen about 14,000 of that 234,000, so that's about less than 10%. Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure how they got that many followers. So I'm not saying that these followers are bot followers, but seeing as this is one of the first times, or I've only really heard about it within the last week, I'm a bit surprised that I guess haven't really heard much about it sooner. Yeah. So anyway, so let's have a look at some Veracity tech. So they're also followed by Alex Becker, which if you guys like Alex Becker, he posts some pretty funny tweets. So they had released their roadmap. A lot of people were annoyed. So judging by the actual sort of retweets and the likes and everything, these numbers do come across as numbers which I would expect for people who would have quite a large following, like these guys, for instance. But yeah, a lot of people were quite miffed in the comments, being like, "Hey man, where is the tier 1 listing? When is the Binance listing, bro?" Yeah. So to be honest, I'm not that concerned about that. And some reasons why. So it's currently being listed / sold on the two main ones which I have are Gate.io and KuCoin. I do have links in the description for those if you wanted to sign up. So the reason why I'm not too concerned about that, and I purchased it on KuCoin in case you guys are wondering. Yeah, so or at least I put a limit order through. Don't know if it's gone through yet, but I hope that it has. Yeah, so people are sort of wanting to see it being listed on tier 1 exchanges, so like Coinbase and Binance and possibly crypto.com if that's a tier 1 exchange. I think that's probably tier 2. But yeah, so things like Coinbase and Binance would be quite big, maybe like FTX and some of that sort of jazz. They probably want to see listings on those, but we currently don't have that yet. And the reason why I'm not too concerned about that is because I think that the team is more focused in the actual development of the project, as opposed to let's get it on the big exchanges as soon as possible. But you know, they could like make an announcement at any time being like, "Hey guys, we're now on this exchange," and I'd be like, "Oh, cool." Like, yeah. So I mean, it would I believe it would make the price rise quite high, but I don't believe that it's going to be like the But yeah, I don't think we need that right now, if that makes sense. So here's something which sort of caught me off guard a little bit. So Veracity's proof of view passes examination by Chinese Patent Office. And the reason why that's fascinating to me is because I thought that China banned blockchains altogether, blockchain sort of information, but they've now got a patent in China, and they've also got a patent in the USA, and I believe they would definitely have a patent in the UK for this as well. I didn't see any information on that, but I'm assuming because a bunch of the people who actually work for the company are British from what I've seen. So this is some of the Google Trends regarding their searches as well. So let's have a look over the last 12 months to see what sort of happened. So it's kind of standard. So red is VRA and blue is Veracity. So it's kind of dipped a little bit since it's I guess if you want to call it its all-time high. Yeah, and so they had another sort of pumpish in October, which if we have a look at the chart, then that might sort of line up there. So as you can see, October, and then they had that big peak which got all the way up to over 0.08, so 8 cents. Yeah, so that's, I guess, kind of cool, kind of standard. And these are the results over the last few days, or the last 30 days. Yeah, so that kind of looks fine. In terms of the social metrics, I think I don't know how much higher we can go with this social metrics. With Twitter, I mean, the fact that you've got over 200,000 followers, over 230,000 followers, like that'd be pretty hard to beat. But stuff like Reddit, stuff like Discord, still has some room to move slash room to grow. And as you can see, so these are the current stats. 227 is 234, but anyway. So yeah, so Discord, as I said, they have around about 8k. And then Reddit says 17,000, which we saw that it was 18, and Telegram says about 36k. So yeah, so one thing which I think is quite cool about these guys as well is that they have this thing called the Verasity wallet. So we will be having a look into that as well. But these guys do so many things. So let's have a brief read from their website what they say they do. So the first one. The future of esports, digital entertainment, and ad tech is on the blockchain. Experience the future in which esports, ad tech, and digital content economy are powered by blockchain. So they have a roadmap. All-in-one wallet for esports, NFTs, and digital currencies. Accelerating the evolution of esports with blockchain. Blockchain-based solution to end video ad fraud. And this is one of the most fascinating things because I haven't seen any other project which is actually trying to do this. Empowering advertisers and publishers, we'll jump back, advertisers and publishers to combat ad fraud with a patented technology that delivers unparalleled transparency and security. So essentially their sort of main thing is that you can, so on the blockchain, it can actually hold data, which essentially tells you if it's like a real life person or if it's not, right? So proactively prevent NFT fraud with an intelligent authentication model, setting a new standard for the transparent authentication of NFT art, NFT sellers, and NFT marketplaces, as well as all digital rights management. So I think that's pretty fantastic, to be honest. They also claim to have the most secure cold storage wallet available. So they say, we guarantee against any hacks or malicious attacks, so you can rest assured your wallet is always safe. So it's a bit of a cheesy line because I think that you can do that with almost any sort of cold storage wallet. So what they are saying is probably true, but it's just a bit of cheeky wording in my opinion. Also, they say that their token type is ERC-777. Now, from every other sources which I've sort of been looking through, they say ERC-20. If anybody has information regarding ERC-777, apparently it is better. We can also see the actual staking bonuses as well, so 25.55% per annum. But remember, from what we did briefly read on that Reddit post, is that's probably going to be dropping to about 18.5%. Now, their roadmap. Now, this is quite impressive, and I quite like this, to be honest. So they have they've sort of showed like what's happened in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. So some of the things which they have already implemented, so NFT marketplace, in development of an NFT marketplace to include creator perpetual for resales, and then Vera reviews, and so they sort of talk about some of these other things. I haven't seen where to find the NFT marketplace though. Yeah, so just be aware of that. So you guys are welcome to sort of talk about some of those extras. Listing on OKX and BitThumb, so that's fine. Veracity proof of view. So yeah, proof of view, which is, I guess, quite a fascinating idea. So actually we will go back to the coin market cap and we'll find out what makes Veracity quite unique. So Veracity is mostly unique for its proof of view protocol technology, the first patented protocol layer that produces precise, secure, and verifiable audience metrics. Users can watch, earn, and play on the Veracity eSport Fight Club platform. So they have this sort of watch and earn type thing, and I think it's cool, man. Like, you can watch stuff and you can like earn money from watching videos. Like, it's like YouTube Plus. I mean, do you think that YouTube's gonna be doing that? I mean, if they do it, then they'll be able to kick these guys probably out of the market. But I don't think that they're gonna look at doing anything like that, because who wants consumers to get money, right? How lame. Sorry guys, that was sarcastic. Yeah, so for 2022, Extra proof of use, so closed beta with the initial Bright Cove customers. So Bright Cove, I believe, is one of the video upload things, or I didn't do a huge amount of research into it, but I believe that it's mostly used for creators and possibly consumers. So yeah, so we also have, so then we have a 2022 proof of view live with Bright Cove customers. I believe that we got some sort of partnership with them, introduce a platform for in-game redeemable NFT items creation, and we have a few other things. So as you can see, so website revamp, Vera Wallet website revamp. So yeah, they've got Vera Esports, Vera Wallet, Veracity, and they've got a few other things as well. So I think that's kind of cool, really. I think that it's really cool that these guys are being like that transparent enough to be able to sort of show us that. So ad tech. So by 2023, advertisers' total loss to ad fraud could skyrocket to $100 billion. So the fascinating thing with the ad fraud, and so okay, here's something really cool. So with Veracity, you can also request to turn off ads. So, but like if you watch ads, you get paid to watch ads. Like, I don't know. That's it's quite interesting, to be honest. Yeah. So ad fraud hurts both advertisers and publishers. So it causes publishers to lose credibility. Ad fraud stunts growth of advertising industry and blah blah blah. In the video content economy, ad fraud can take the form of loading multiple videos in parallel, loading videos in hidden windows and tabs, manipulating analytics. Yeah, so I mean, I also like have sort of done a little bit of ad stuff as well, when I used to work for this company, and yeah, just yeah, not a comfortable time. Yeah, so yep, we won't go into that. So we have so this is Veracity.tv. And it's cool because they do actually have the videos sort of up here. So what happens is that, you know, you sort of click a link and then you can go and load the video or what have you, and you can sort of find out about it. A video which I watched, which was super helpful, is, I don't think it's this one, but it could be. No, it wasn't this one. It was one of these videos, and it was very helpful in terms of describing, I think, oh, this chick, yeah. Crypto gone girl or something, crypto girl something. Sorry, I can't quite remember the name. But yeah, so essentially, so from how I see it or how I understand it, so these are all kind of like, from what I see, these are currently like, I guess, demos, if you want to call it that. Because when I did actually try to have a look to see if I could select the actual demos themselves, so this is something which I believe that they're probably gonna have to fix on their website. They don't have anything. It just leaves you to like a blank page. So, you know, that's for the Twitch player, for the Vimeo player, and for the YouTube player. And yeah, so whoever's watching, if the Veracity people are watching, probably fix that, or maybe like write in the comments and be like, hey, so the reason why we haven't changed that is because of this. Yeah. So a bunch of the information, again, I have actually sort of been chatting to people from the Discord as well, just to sort of find out about that little jazz. Yeah, so I think that's kind of cool. I mean, it looks pretty solid, from what I can see, and I am assuming that they'll also be probably adding some sort of search bar maybe, and possibly an extra comment section. I mean, that's my assumption. I don't know if they will actually be doing that. But yeah, so this is them talking about the seismic shift in esports, talking about creating opportunities and NFTs and rewards for watching and competing. So you can sign up, you can watch and earn, and you can redeem. So there's various shops where you can actually redeem these at. Yeah, so I did see a little bit about that, where you can use the Vera to purchase things or what have you. Yeah, so when you watch a video, you get this little green, I guess, trophy thing, which sort of shows that you have a reward, which I think is pretty nifty. So yeah, so here are some of the reasons for why they say Vera Esports is dominating the esports space, with world-class gaming and stuff. So they have esports players and enthusiasts can play, watch, and so you have a few extra things regarding that, which is really cool. And so their partnerships, and this is pretty impressive. So you've got PUBG Mobile, Valorant, Tencent Games, which is PUBG, and Athena Gaming to dominate the world of esports in best-in-class gaming content layered and superior technology. So the fact that this is all sort of being built upon the blockchain is really awesome, and the fact that both creators and advertisers or publishers or what have you, the fact that they can see that you are not just sort of faking the system or whatever, I think, as I say, I think that's really awesome in terms of helping keep things at like a good place or what have you. So yeah, so there's some of that, and you can see some of these names here. Esports Business Network, I recognize them. Riot Games, know them. Yeah, so we continue moving on. So this talks a little bit more about the NFT space, and so they sort of talk about what NFT fraud is. So forging of the original content without the owner's consent. I mean, I remember I was reading a story the other day, or hearing a story where some guy they pretty much almost copied and pasted the exact website for where you could buy this NFT, and they started promoting it like somewhere else, whatever, and they had like the website name off by like one letter or something. And then so people were sending money to this like fake Ethereum wallet, and then so far they'd earned like, was it like 110,000 or like 110 million or something? Yeah, it was massive. So yeah, preventing things like NFT fraud is such a big area. Yeah, I personally don't really get too involved in the NFT space myself, but I do appreciate what NFTs are being built upon. Yeah, about $2.4 billion worth of NFTs were traded in Q2 of 2021, and their growth is only starting. Scammers and hackers see a new frontier in NFT art, and it is hard to pin down the scale and breadth of NFT fraud. And that's from the Wall Street Journal. So yeah, so those are important. So now we have a look at some of these extra tokenomics. Now they don't exactly have like a proper chart or information deeply, I guess, determining what, who owns what when it comes to these wallets, right? But we will be having a look a little bit further. So I did bring this sort of blockchain thing from over there. This website which I'm getting it from is called Zangle, or X-Angle, Crossangle. It says Crossangle down the bottom, but then it has Crossangle there as well. So these guys are pretty cool. I have only just discovered them, but by the way, just so that you guys know, I'm not promoting or sponsoring, or I'm not sponsoring anything in this video. Yeah, but essentially their sort of thing is the disclosure platform for the crypto market. They promote standardized dissemination of information, and yeah, so it's quite cool because we can actually see a few of their other things regarding their disclosures. There is actually a way to be able to see it. So let's say if we were to sort of take away this link and we went to, oh my gosh, and we went and took it away there, and then we can have a look at VRA itself. Then we should be able to see. So selecting disclosure, we can actually see the various sort of informations underneath some things. So they have the new partnership with Brightcove. And they also have the team has responded to requests for disclosure. Okay, so this actually does a bit of a brief description between who Brightcove is. So they talk about secure video technology solutions in more than 70 countries. Brightcove's intelligent video platform enables businesses to sell to customers more effectively, media leaders to stream and monetize content more reliably, and every organization to communicate with team members more powerfully. With two technology and engineering Emmy awards for innovation. Yeah, so yeah, so I think that's quite good, quite cool. That you know, they've got this sort of extra partnership going on, but we are interested in the tokenomics. So when we have a look at the main wallets on here, we're concerned because we see massive percentages, right? And when we usually see that, we get a bit like concerned because we're like, oh my gosh, who do these belong to? Now, if we have a look, we can actually see the names and the people of these token holdings. So you've got an exchange, right? Sorry, guys. So you've got KuCoin Cold Storage. So that would be somebody who so apparently that can't be sold from what I've heard. which is quite interesting. So yeah, so I don't really know what that's supposed to be for, but I imagine that's probably them, I guess, having enough on the exchange to be able to sort of buy and sell, or having enough liquidity to be able to do that. And then we have Veracity, which is the 25% of what the actual team owns, where we have a look at some of the extra tokenomics under here, and we can see. So we have tokens which are unreserved. So we have foundation unallocated. Then we have founders and team tokens. You have staking rewards, which is reserved. So unreserved, reserved. Total Veracity controlled, and so you have the unreserved and the reserved of that as well. Vera wallet, third party, and then the total VRA supply, which is the 10 billion, I believe that's what this is. And then so total wallet number one, and then the VRA circulating supply, which is currently 6.9 billion. But according to market cap, so it says, now how the heck does that work? So it looks like this information is not really being properly checked, because it says that the total supply, so the maximum amount of coins that will ever exist in the lifetime of the cryptocurrency is 10 billion, and the total supply is 19 billion. So yeah, let's go based off what Medium says. Yeah, I'm not sure which one's probably the right one in the essence. Yeah, so total unlock supply is 8 billion, and then so the total VRA supply is 10 billion. So total unlocked and then total locked supply. So yeah, I think in terms of all of these things, we can sort of see a little bit more maybe who these belong to, especially with this extra disclosure as well. And so we have a bunch of extra exchanges. We have Veracity controlling that wallet, that wallet, that wallet, that wallet, that wallet, and showing how much of the percentage they actually do control with that. So one thing which is a bit concerning for me is the fact that we don't actually see the actual like tokenomics in terms of who gets what and all that jazz. So there is this information here, but this is, to me personally, this is not really easily digestible for the average or common person. Yeah, so that's a bit of an annoying thing for me. There have also been interviews as well with other people on the with some of the actual members, and we will be looking at those soon. So yeah, so in terms of the actual supply and all that sort of jazz, I'm not too concerned for the time being. They could go and you know like pull everything and make it go under, but I think because of some of the history, especially with some of the team, and especially because, you know, like since they are a docs team, they could essentially, I guess, like get charged for this or what have you. I don't think that they'd really be wanting to risk their faces or whatever, and maybe see another, is it one coin where the other thing happens. So this is their white paper. We will have a look at their brief team. So this is their core leadership. So we have the founder, and we have director and legal, and we have financial director, CRO, CMO, CTO, and CPO here. So you're welcome to pause the video. One thing I do recommend is that if you want to come onto the website, just have a look at who these guys are. That would be cool as well. So Veracity. So we've already looked there, so we want to look at the white paper. So in the white paper, we can see a bunch of who the other members are as well. I haven't been looking into these guys because usually I'm sort of more interested as to who some of the kind of head leadership are. So that's sort of more in what I'm interested in. Although we do have guys who, you know, have got like a lot of experience. So, you know, 11 years of experience, high load, C/C++, developer, strong background with working with online things, experienced in esports content manager. So you have a bunch of people who they are actually experienced, which I think is really awesome. And RJ Mark, so RJM, which we can see here. So he is the founder and the CEO, and he was also the founder and CEO of Level Up Media. as well as the managing director of Liquidstream, and he was also the CTO for DataGuard as well, and a technical consultant for Action TV. So yeah, I mean, you guys may be able to recognize some of these names. So the fellow lives in England, and so we find out a little bit about him. And so he actually made a bunch of software products for various platforms, including PC, Mac, Android, and iOS. So yeah, and then we have a look at the next one, which is Robert, and then so he is the CFO, so owner slash consultant of, not going to pronounce that, financial consultancy, but he's also the consultant CFO for Veracity. And then we have Justin, who is the CRO, and he's also a mentor for YouTube Accelerator, and he's been with Astute Insights, he's been with PubGuard, so he was the founder of Astute Insights, sorry, not just with them, but the founder, and the sales director of Intelligent Optimizations. And now this is Miriam. Now this girl definitely caught my attention. So she's in New York. The other fellow was also in the UK. But here's what caught my attention with this chickie. So Chief Marketing Officer. So the two who I saw in an interview was Miriam and Robert. So I've seen both of these guys, and I think that they're mainly the sort of voices for the company. In terms of, like, I guess, like the social media aspect, but you might recognize two of these names, Cardano Foundation, and also Consensus. So when I sort of saw those two, I was like, oof, I know those two. Yeah, and she was also with Komodo Health as well. So so in terms of her marketing, she's definitely been with some known players. Sergey, who is the CTO, the Chief Technology Officer, and he was also with Level Up Media as well. So I think that what RJ Mark did was that he took a bunch of the people from his company Level Up Media, and he decided to, I guess, move onto this Veracity. So he's also had a few other experiences as well with March Cats, Ding Media, and he was also a freelancer as well for quite a long time. And then the last one, Alina, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, product advisor. So she's worked with Nerdy Tutors as an advisor, Livingston Research as head of product management, and senior product manager. And she's also been a product manager for a bunch of other places. So after we've said all that information, what are my base thoughts? My base thoughts on the project is this. First of all, it's my longest video which I've ever made, over 30 minutes long. This is long as heck. So my base thoughts are, number one, I haven't seen any competitor for these guys. I personally think that these guys are mega undervalued, especially with what they're trying to do to combat ad fraud and NFT fraud. Now, I believe that there are other places which are trying to combat NFT fraud, but ad fraud is a pretty big deal. And the fact that you can actually earn money from watching videos from these guys, I think, is a very attractive, I think it's a very attractive, I guess you could call, essence or what have you. Yeah, and I think that these guys are probably going to be doing really well. The main concerns I have for these guys is, as I say, we don't see a lot about the tokenomics. I think that if you want to buying now is probably going to be a decent-ish idea or a decent-ish place to actually purchase. Yeah, as we can see, we're sort of moving along that sort of right-hand line. Yeah, and I think the fact that we do have people who have had experiences within the actual team, I think is really helpful as well. I mean, so I think that they are trying to do quite a few things, and as I say, as much as people from Twitter might not like me saying this, I think that it is good that they aren't actually on tier 1 yet when it comes to the exchanges, because I feel like that is something which is possibly going to happen in the future. And I think especially the fact that these guys have a patent, like a patent, for goodness sake, like you have to like pay money for a patent, dude, like they're not like free. So the fact that they have a patent for their proof of view, for their protocol layer, yeah, for their proof of view protocol, I mean, that is incredible. Yeah, so I personally am feeling quite so. As you guys know, I don't really like shilling things. Try to take it from like a factual perspective, but when I look at these facts, man, your boy becomes very attractive to what he's reading. So yeah, so I feel like that's kind of the baseline of it. If we could see better tokenomics, that would be it. And what they're going to do with some of these wallets here. So apparently they do have plans to do something with this 22%, which they said. So that was 25%, and looks like that's actually dropped by about 500,000, 600,000, almost. Yeah, so that was bigger than what it currently is. And I also probably want a bit more of an explanation on maybe what the KuCoin cold storage wallet is used for as well. Because they do seem to create, or they do seem to hold quite a fair amount of the, I guess, top wallets. And these other guys, these external people, who also, I guess, have a bit of a hefty amount as well. So anyway, guys, that is my video. Please consider liking and subscribing if you got all the way to the end here, which is marvelous. Also have a Patreon if you want to consider joining, that'd be awesome as well. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I really hope that it's insightful. And yeah, hope to have you guys come see this again in the future. Maybe I'll be making videos with these dudes.